Hello everybody, welcome to Camper's Choice. Glad to have you. So tonight I want to talk about as you age, as you get, say for me 70, I'm not per se going to worry, but or concerned, but it's just what happens. Your energy level is not, as you know, what it used to be. So I try to conduct myself as far as not doing too much during the day, knowing that I have a, probably 4, maybe 5 hour shift to do the Uber Eats. So that being said, there are still some days that, maybe you overexert yourself, or maybe you just don't feel motivated to get in there and do the shifts. So that's what this video is about tonight. Start with like the starting line. Let's say I have a sluggish start. Well, I want to try to get a good order since my acceptance rate is up there 55%. Start off with a good order to try to get me going into the flow, get the adrenaline and get all the dopamine and the brain cells going, and get off to a good positive start. Because when you first log in, it can feel like a chore. It can feel like, why am I doing? You can kind of question, why am I doing this? And we'll get into that a little bit later. Is it for the money? Is it for something to do? But you're waiting for that first decent order, maybe feeling a little bit stiff or unmotivated. Maybe you don't want to leave the house. You're just questioning, is this really worth it? And I'll tell you right off the bat, for me it is, to get the socialization, to get out there and see what the world's up to, and get it just to get out of the house and have something to do. So you take that first icebreaker order. It doesn't have to be a great order per se, but somewhere along, like if it was $10 for 5 miles, that's a pretty good order, or even $6 for 8 miles. I'd probably take that. Preferably have a $7 for $5 order, just to get in there and see get me moving. But then when you're there by the second or third delivery, your rhythm, you kind of get into a rhythm, you get into a flow. Like for me, I'll have my bags on the pizza bags on the right in the rear, and my regular delivery bags on the left in the rear. And then if I get 2 orders, I'll put one in the front seat, one in the back, kind of just keep things separate, and then kind of keeps things organized. And so, like I say, you navigated the first couple of restaurant lobbies, check the bag, so to speak, and handled the drop-offs. So completing these small tasks gives you a sense of accomplishment, get you going, get you into the flow. Stop thinking about, per se, how tired you are maybe, and you start thinking about that next target. And what I do too is I make a little comment about how much I've earned, whether it's $10 on this one, put a plus sign there and wait for the next order. So I kind of keep a track. Helps me keep track of what my goal is for that night. Usually it's about $70, which I made tonight. It might be a little bit more than that, over 4 hours and 15 minutes, I think. So overall, a good night, probably about $17 an hour. So well worth it. And that's the thing too, is that once it's done, it's like kind of like going to the gym. You hate to go sometimes, but once you've done the exercise, then you kind of feel better about yourself after you've gone. So then the surge, when you have that adrenaline pick me up, it's kind of the sweet spot of the shift. You're into the flow now. You want to get to that next order, deliver that one, and then get off to the next one, and stay on track to meet your goal. I know some of the things that can get off your goal is like tonight when I had to climb a couple steps of stairs and try to find where that exactly room was, and so it can throw you off a few minutes. It can be can be frustrating, and it can kind of throw you off and set off your time rate for the next your delivery rate for the next delivery. But there's nothing like that, you know, that adrenaline flow, that dopamine effect, where you get that boost of energy. It's kind of like, you know, in a fire, you just kind of, your mind gets going and stuff. So you feel sharper, faster, and you know, you're hitting the lights perfectly. And apartment complexes don't seem like such a hassle anymore, although they kind of do sometimes. But adrenaline is what, you know, it's what pushes you through the heavy lifting part of your shift. And once you can get to that part, then the rest is pretty much takes care of itself for the most part. But there is a red line. If you have overextended yourself, you've done some heavy lifting that day, and you're just beat, you know, then your adrenaline might be, you know, in a sense, used up. You're trying to get to that, and it's going to be tricky. You know, you feel amped up, but you might ignore the fact that you've been in and out of the car for 4 hours, or that your focus is starting to dip. Or, as I said earlier, maybe you've done some other chores during the day, and you're just tired. You're not as sharp as you generally are if you hadn't done any labor that day. You know, you might just find yourself saying just one more, even though you've already hit your goals. This is when your job shifts from being in the zone to pushing the limit. And like tonight, I could have gone to 9 o'clock, but I'd already hit my goal at 8, so there was no way I was gonna stay. I had 3 deliveries to deliver, and after that, I was done. So the easing back, that's kind of the pro move, the exit strategy, you know, to avoid a massive crash later. You have to decide to wind down while you still feel okay, and that can be kind of tricky too. But it helps to know what your dollar amount is, if you know, and say, okay, I'm maybe 1 order away, or I'm there, and then you look at the time and you say, okay, well, it's time to call it a night. Or you check your energy level and say, okay, maybe I could do one or two more, see where it goes from there. Or maybe you say, let's see what the next offer brings. If it's a good, decent offer, then maybe I'll take it. I'll take it. So if you do hit that red zone, you might stop chasing those hot zones, start looking for an order that heads back to your neighborhood. You might manually ease off the gas so you don't finish the night completely drained. And that's what I always try to do, is just try to keep from feeling completely drained. You slide, so the offline post-shift reset, you slide to the go offline button. Adrenaline begins to fade, and you finally feel the actual work that you did. You get home, you know, and you check your stats, you check your on-time arrival, your acceptance rates, your satisfaction rate, and see where you stand. And then you check your mileage and the money you've made, see how much you've made. So in summary, you know, the login, you overcome your initial sluggishness. First 3 orders to build the momentum, to get the blood flowing. Then you have that surge, you're riding that adrenaline rush to get the bulk of the work done. And you recognize when that adrenaline is making you tired. You analyze how much you need to make your goal, and whether it's time to finish up and call it a night. And the ease back is when you set a hard stop to protect yourself for tomorrow. Okay, so that's pretty much it for tonight. If you got anything out of this video, consider contributing to the Coffee Beverage Fund. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Safe travels, everybody.